Hi, friends. We did it. We finally hit 10,000 subscribers. Woohoo! And I say we because I didn't do it. You guys are the ones who subscribed. Well, and me. I mean, I am subscribed to myself, so I count too. Anyway, as promised, I'm going to do a Q&A and answer all of the questions you guys sent me in my community post a month ago. And while I do that, I'm just going to do a little simple coloring in this cool Halloween coloring book that my friend Anchored Art Designs made. I know not everyone loves Halloween as much as I do, so I'll try to pick a few more fall-themed pages, and I'll link her channel and book down in the description box. Let's get into the questions. I broke them up into 4 categories just to be a little more organized, and the first category is personal. How old are you? I am 40 years old. Tell us a little bit about your family. Are you married? Do you have kids? I am not married and I do not have kids, except at work. I have a house with my parents. I have 2 sisters that live out of state and my niece who is 4. Do you have any pets? Yes, I have a dog, Bella. My parents have a dog, Max, and we have a cat, Bootsy, that was my grandma's before she died. Where are you from and have you always lived there? I've been in Omaha, Nebraska my entire life, except for like a year and a half where I went to college in Lincoln, Nebraska. What's your favorite state and what's your dream travel destination? I guess I would say Nebraska is my favorite state in that it's home and I wouldn't want to live anywhere else. But my favorite place in the whole world is the Isle of Palm, South Carolina. Ugh, beautiful, amazing, a sweet siren calling to me. My dream travel destination is somewhere that I could cage dive with great white sharks. So here's a good question. Why are sharks your favorite animal? And I love this question because now I get to tell you how awesome they are. Get ready. So there's this old Shark Week documentary called Sharkman. And in it, this guy decides that he's going to learn to use tonic immobility to work with sharks. Tonic immobility is this calm, sort of trance-like state that sharks go into, kind of like hypnosis. So he starts with smaller sharks and keeps working with bigger and bigger sharks until he does it with a female great white. And he ends up swimming with her, holding on to her dorsal fin. Something about that sort of changed the way that I looked at sharks. Instead of being these monsters that are out to attack, I realized that they're just an animal like any other. I mean, they could hurt you if you get yourself into the wrong situation, but they aren't out there hunting humans down, they just get a bad rap. Plus, they're massive, and they've been around for 70 million years, and there's still so much that we don't know about them. I just think that they're beautiful. Some other favorites questions. My favorite thing to do in my spare time besides art? Reading when I get the time, or watching true crime documentaries while I'm doing art. My favorite outdoor activity? Relaxing? I love being in and around water, or laying in my hammock. Favorite shows, movies, music, and fandoms? I'm obsessed with SVU, the ID channel, and My Favorite Murder, the podcast. I like pretty much any movies that don't make me cry, and I'm a huge Swiftie. Do you enjoy animation? I don't dislike it, but it's not something that really sticks out more than anything else, so sure. Do you enjoy baking? If so, what's your favorite thing to make? I enjoy eating, and my favorite baked good to eat is chocolate brownies with no icing and no nuts. So if I'm baking those, then yes, I do enjoy it. Do you have any hidden talents? Not that I can think of off the top of my head. I played the flute in high school, but I don't know that I was particularly talented. And I played roller derby for about 10 years, so I'm pretty good on skates. Do either of those count? Describe yourself as a kid. What was your personality like? A big nerd. No, really. I got good grades in school and I hated getting in trouble, so I was kind of a goody two-shoes. But I also worried about pretty much everything all of the time. Like, in kindergarten, I accidentally locked myself in the bathroom at school, freaked out, and then weirdly got scared that the same thing would happen to my little sister when she started kindergarten 3 years later. So I got a lot of questions about my day job, which, if you don't already know, I'm a principal and a teacher at a Montessori preschool. How did you become a preschool teacher? I actually had quite a few different jobs after college, and I was working at a transportation company, and I was just kind of fed up with how much everything we did was based on how much money it would make us. I was real naive, apparently. So I wanted to find a job that wasn't all about money, and I had always wanted to be a teacher when I was a kid, so I started looking into jobs at schools. I got hired as an assistant at a Montessori preschool, and I didn't really know anything about Montessori when I started, but once I started learning about it and doing it, it just made so much sense to me. Like, why don't we teach like this all the time? So about 4 months later, there was an opening to be the lead teacher. So I enrolled in the Montessori training program, and I've been there for 10 years. A few years ago, I also took on the role of principal for my school, so now I do both. Do you have a teaching degree? No, I actually went to college for computer programming. I took a specific training for my Montessori certification that took about a year and a half, and now I'm certified by the American Montessori Society, so I could teach Montessori anywhere. Do you teach your kids some art activities? Yes and no. I teach them art concepts and skills like using different mediums and stuff, but I don't give them any projects with a specific goal at the end. For their age, I really don't like guided art. I want them to feel free to experiment and create whatever comes into their little brains. So sometimes we'll do a cute project for like a holiday or something, but honestly, that's more for the parents than for the children. All that being said, they do love my art that I put up around the room, and if they ask me to make them something, I totally will. Are there any craft ideas you take home from work? Not necessarily crafts that I do with them, but sometimes I'm inspired by the supplies. Like, we have a million popsicle sticks at school, so I got an idea to make something from them. Or we made air dry clay Christmas ornaments once, so I tried air dry clay. And of course, I take all of the pencils that are too short for them to use and rescue them to my cheap pencil stash. What's the best and worst part about working with kids? The best thing is hands down the kids. I love them so much. They are so fun and funny, and every day is just something new, and I love getting to see them discover things for the first time. They're just genuine little beings who wear their every emotion loud and proud. There are for sure tough days and moments, but it's kind of impossible to go even 5 minutes without smiling at something that they're doing. The worst part is probably dealing with all the stuff that has nothing to do with the kids and that I can't do anything about. Education in general, and especially early childhood education, is understaffed, underpaid, and just undervalued by a lot of people in charge. Even though I'm the principal of my school, we actually have 10 schools in Omaha, and a few years ago we got bought out by a national corporation. So there's a lot of things that I don't have any control over. All right, enough of that. Let's get into the art questions. There were a few questions about how and when I got into art. I've always loved crafting, and I was especially into making jewelry all throughout high school. But it was only recently that I got into drawing because I've never been all that good at it. A few years back, I was going through a really bad breakup, and I was leaving roller derby at the same time. And it was just causing me a lot of heartache and feeling really lost on what to do with all of the time that used to be filled by those other things. So I wanted to find something that was just mine and didn't remind me of my ex or my friends that I wasn't seeing. And I had been watching Mariah Elizabeth for a few months, and I decided that maybe I could try drawing some cute little characters. So I got a few drawing books and taught myself to draw really easy little things. And from there, it just kind of grew. I have taken like one painting class, but mostly it's just me trying things and then trying something else when that doesn't work. Someone asked if it was gradual or a natural born gift. It's definitely not natural born. I have friends that can just look at a picture and whip out something amazing. I cannot do that. But my goal isn't really to be like that and be in a gallery or anything. I just want to have fun, so I don't mind if it actually takes a little bit more work. Do you have any book recommendations for arts or crafts? I actually have a lot of arts and crafts books because I want to learn a lot of things, but the ones that I used to teach myself how to draw at the very beginning were these kawaii doodle ones by Pick Candle. Do you remember any art project from your childhood that felt special to you? Do you still have it? The art projects that really stick out in my mind are the ones that people kept. Like, I remember a handprint artwork that hung on my parents' wall for a long time, or this really god-awful clay bowl that my dad kept on his side table. I don't think that we still have those unless they're in storage somewhere. What happens to all of the things you create? Most of them I keep. I have given a couple away, and some have met a very sad fate at the hands of my clumsiness. I haven't sold any, even though a few people have said that I should, but I don't even know who would want to buy them or how I would price them. So they just sit in my craft room, making me happy to look at. What's your favorite creation so far? That's a tough question because it changes all the time because I'll make a new favorite thing. But I think right now it's the wall hanging that I made with all of the ice cream animals. That's really cute and it makes me really happy. Have you done diamond painting? Yes, I have. What's your favorite medium to work with? I think paint because sensory-wise, it's very satisfying to use. What's something you've been wanting to create but haven't yet? I really want to try gouache, but I've been too nervous. And I really want to remake a Sheila squishy, but I haven't found quite the right squishies yet. What craft do you wish you were instantly good at? Sewing. Anything else I'm fine with slow progress, but I wish I could just whip up clothes whenever I wanted to. In your opinion, what craft items are worth the splurge? Colored pencils are definitely worth spending your money. I haven't found a cheap colored pencil set that is as good as Prismacolor pencils. Which items are just as good to go on the more affordable side? I would say alcohol markers and paint. I love Ohuhu alcohol markers that are pretty affordable compared to others. And for paint, I'm sure that more expensive paint probably matters for things like fine art. But for what I use it for, cheap paint works just fine. You just have to be willing to do a few extra coats. What would be your long-term art and craft goals? I don't really have any specific goals. I just want to keep having fun and try to improve a little bit all the time. Have you considered making your own coloring book or painting book? I have thought about it, but I don't want to put something out just to put something out, I would want to make something that hasn't already been done a bunch of times, like something that provides something new. And so far, I haven't been able to come up with an original idea. So maybe someday, if I think of something good. Is there an artist that you look up to? Who? There's actually a lot of artists that I look up to for different reasons. Like, obviously, I love Mariah Elizabeth's cutesy style and how she's able to come up with so many different characters. I love cat art illustrations work with markers. It's so pretty and glowy, and I wish that I could do that. And I love Ashley Monet's, cool, creepy vibes. What motivates you to keep going even during bad art or crafting days? I try to remember that it can usually get better. And if it doesn't, it's not the end of the world. At least I learned what didn't work. But really, I mostly think about how sad I would feel if I watched someone else just give up. When I get comments that say that I inspired them to try something new or to get back into art, those are the ones that mean the most to me. So if I don't want anybody else to give up, I can't give up either. At least not permanently. Sometimes you really do need to just walk away for a bit. All right, the last section is all about YouTube. What led you to making the channel? The kind of ridiculous thing is that when I first started getting into art and teaching myself to draw, I remember saying to my therapist that I wasn't going to show anyone. This was just going to be for me. Dummy. But the reason that I actually started the channel was that I was making a lot of stuff that I was actually pretty excited about, but I didn't really have anyone else around me who was super interested in it like I was. So I thought I would just make videos so I could show anyone who cared what I was doing. Have you ever made videos that were not art or craft related? Yes, embarrassingly enough. I will never tell you where it is, and if anyone ever discovers it, I will probably delete it. But there is one lone makeup tutorial and one closet declutter floating around out there from a few years before I got into art. There were a couple of questions about a face reveal. So here's my face. It's revealed. But really, the reason that I don't show my face is strictly down to how I have to film. My earliest videos were actually filmed on a lap desk on my bed. Now I have a craft room, but it's in the basement of my house and it has no door. So you can hear everything that goes on in the house. You can hear the TV upstairs. You can hear the dogs barking. You can hear the washing machine in the laundry room. So unless I get a few perfectly silent moments, I usually have to record my voiceover later. If I filmed my face, it would be like a silent movie, and that would just be weird. So someday, if I can ever afford to put a door on the room, I will film my face. What do you use to record and edit with? I record on a Canon M50 Mark II for the overhead shots and my old Samsung Note for the alternate angles. I edit on Adobe Premiere Pro. I can do the simple stuff on it, and maybe someday I'll either find the time to learn more or I'll make enough money to hire someone. How do you balance doing YouTube, your family, and a full-time career? I wouldn't really call it balance at this point. My day job is very time-consuming, and though I don't have kids, I do spend a lot of time helping out my parents with various things and appointments. So pretty much any free time I have is spent filming or editing. I'm usually still editing the morning that I'm posting to get everything done. What would you say to someone that wants to start a YouTube channel but is really nervous about it? First, I would say just go for it. If you wait for everything to be perfect, you'll be waiting forever. Just start and learn as you go. Second, know why you want to do it and make sure that you enjoy it. It is a lot of work for very little payoff, especially at first. So if you aren't enjoying at least a majority of it, you're going to get burned out. Do you ever get fan mail yet? Kind of. One subscriber, Ashley, sent me some stuff, and that was like the most exciting thing in the world. And a few subscribers have emailed me pictures of things that they created, and that's pretty fun too. If you could meet any famous YouTuber, who would it be? Jenna Marbles, hands down. Her attitude towards life just inspired me so much to just do what makes me happy and not care what people think. And I would just love to tell her how much she meant to me. Which YouTubers would you do a collab with? Well, I've already done a collab with Di from Aussie Crafter a couple of times, and she's genuinely the sweetest person in the world. Like, I would fight to the death for her, and I would 100% collab with her again. But if it was 3 people that I haven't already done a collab with, I would say Ashley Monet, Black Bean CMS, and Courageous Painting, because I love their personalities and selfishly I just really want to hang out with them. So that's it for all of the questions. I hope that you enjoyed watching this, and thank you again for getting me this far. I really appreciate you all so much, and I couldn't keep on doing this without you. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.